3, 2, 1. I almost did the middle finger. 2050, Kiss. Coming to an arena near you.
Yeah. It's going to be amazing.
The band has not been born yet. It's just about to be born, I think. So they're in the incubator at the moment. But
they could be babies.
Yeah, the babies are like a little bit older, maybe. But we think the future. We were laughing about this because I predicted this about a year ago. So they're talking with Derek because I book bands a lot and work with like these sort of bigger resorts and bring in like lots of tribute bands. But Gene Simmons just sort of half-handedly just threw it out there like, hey, Kiss will probably continue with 20-year-olds in the next things I never thought would happen because it's
franchised.
Well, not even franchised, just like the Kiss. Kiss will still be just Kiss, playing arenas, not the original members. But will anybody actually care?
No.
I don't think so. I think it'll be fine. Because most of these young audience members that are just being brought in now from all this old people, apparently, don't care if it's Paul Stanley or Gene Simmons or Ace Frehley or guys,
This is probably true in lots of ways, but particularly with Kiss, right? Because they're wearing makeup. It's the spectacle, right? It's the fire shooting out of the floor and, the blood getting spit on you and bat wings and bases of like axes and and that's what you're going to see. It's almost like going to see a Broadway show, but it's rock and roll. Rock and roll Broadway.
And we use Kiss as sort of our entry point into this, but there's so many bands that have already done it. They've already passed this test. And we find that fantastic. So thank you for joining us again. Casino Guitars, Baxter and Johnny. Click like, subscribe.
Don't forget the bell.
And let's dig in a bit further.
Because one day when we die and we have other people doing
tribute
the show,
YouTube channel.
Tribute us. You'll still get notifications. It'll be great.
God, that'd be awesome.
Wouldn't it be great?
We just have guys like just not comb their hair and grow a beard.
It's easy. It's a simple formula.
I think I'm gonna shave my Miami Vice beard off soon.
I like your.
I like it too. It's fun to change, go back and forth.
I know.
I like the shift just to confuse people.
Fair.
The mustache was a favorite phase of mine.
And your wife loved it.
Oh boy. Anyway, another tribute band. This band called Lynyrd Skynyrd.
Oh, ouch. That hits right in the old heart.
I know, that hurts you, doesn't it? But I mean, so that's not the original band, is it?
No.
Did they just retire?
No, it's not. Sort of.
From
a bit of a forced retirement.
From Earth.
Sadly, yeah.
They took that 747 to the heavens. They just went all the way. And we love Skynyrd.
Absolutely.
But Skynyrd's been performing as this Skynyrd much longer than the original Skynyrd was ever around.
Which is interesting in and of itself.
I find that fascinating, and that's okay.
Well, the alternative was that it just ended there.
That was it.
And I think I'm sort of glad that it continued.
100%. Let's talk about bands even further like in this world. Now, that didn't happen dramatically like that, but let's look at the lineup to the Allman Brothers.
Definitely changed.
Because we look at like the original lineups, it can slowly morph. It can morph immediately, cut and dry. I think Kiss might do this, bam, 20-year-olds.
Well, Kiss is sort of different than the ones we're talking about because they're choosing that, right? Which Kiss has had personnel changes as well in their history, but
I feel like Allman Brothers sort of chose, not like Dwayne, obviously, but...
Well, again, they could have ended when Dwayne died, right? And that would have been the end, and I'm glad they didn't because there's been amazing Allman Brothers music.
And just the touring. Like, I remember seeing them as like a 13 and 14 and 15-year-old when they come through, and they blew me away.
Well, and I mean, to have a sort of vehicle like that with all these amazing guitar players, obviously you always had Greg, but, having Jack Pierce and having, Warren Haynes and Derek Trucks
and just a model. You see these great players come through and grow through it. Like, let's talk about the Rolling Stones. That's not the original lineup by any stretch at all either. And we're not saying like, one member change up. Like, there's been a few, and it's... Right. It's sort of fast. The Beatles, that doesn't count. I consider Ringo the original lineup, even though he's not the original drummer. He's still, it's Ringo Starr, for goodness sake. He's pretty much like the coolest guy.
Sort of funny they made the manager fire the other drummer.
Is that how it worked?
Yeah.
That's funny.
They didn't want to tell him.
I mean, that's okay.
They're like, go find us a good drummer.
I thought he quit because he wanted to go be an actor.
What I read, I just read this because I was reading the Who Are the Beatles to my son at night as our bedtime routine. It could be wrong because there were some other things in there that I was like,
correct.
Like, I don't know. But this said that the manager, when they got the manager after they, they're like, oh yeah, find us a good drummer.
I don't believe that one.
They found old Richard Starkey.
Oh, who's that? Who's Ringo?
Ringo.
No, so I mentioned it earlier. I do work with some of these big resorts and help them book some talent. And so we brought in some pretty big acts, like from like the Kingston Trio and the Four Freshmen, the Lettermen, the Diamonds. We all, like, if you know doo-wop and stuff. Now, the Temptations, the Four Tops type stuff. None of these cats are the original singers anymore.
No.
The Kingston Trio had an original member. Still, that was remaining. And then the Crystals had one when we booked them once. And she was like 13 when she was in the Crystals, and she was still trucking with them, which is crazy.
And was she like an original member, or like came in like while they were in their heyday?
Exactly. It's sort of in the heyday. I think she was a come-in, because that's
Still
how all
not
these
exactly
these groups, like, you know, the Motown Berry Gordy stuff in particular,
Yeah.
the Temptations. He pretty much had outfits. If you could fit in that outfit and do the routine, you're in.
Got a twist. Have a twist on your heel.
You have a drug problem? We'll help you. Get out of the band. I mean, you're out. You're on the street, kid. Sorry. Here's your like severance package of don't let the foot hurt you too much on the way out the door.
Ouch.
That was the old Motown method, unfortunately. But yeah, so these bands have been interchangeable members since the incarnation.
Yeah.
So the idea of Kiss doing this, maybe, I'm 100% okay with this.
Oh, I think it's awesome. Especially for the format of what Kiss is. I think it's cool.
No, because I sort of future worry, like, you know, like as music and taste change, and like I was like, you know, let's say 200 years from now, let's say rock and roll is not a thing anymore. And we look back in the history books and we see the Beatles will probably be the only thing that sort of is noted as, oh, rock and roll, this band called the Beatles was a thing. Maybe Elvis is mentioned in a footnote or something. Maybe Michael Jackson, that's pop. But then I would love it if Kiss could somehow sneak in there. And they're like, no, we're still going. We're still a band.
Well, I mean, as long as I have remembered, like the joke has always been, no, this is Kiss's 18th farewell tour. You know what I mean? Like, because they're it's a business and it's the Kiss Army, and they've figured out a way to, you know, make all this money.
It is a business through and through.
You know, so I mean, like, it would have been a little sad to me if they really just retired and that was the end. So the fact that they've figured out a way,
well, I hope
from a
they do
business
this.
standpoint, yeah, of course.
Because I think it's just neat. Because it is. They created this, like the 70s arena rock with spectacle, fire, pyrotechnics, and like crazy outfits, running around. Like, you can imagine you got 20-year-olds running around with that energy and vigor.
And amazing songs like Beth. Heartfelt lyrics.
That's a good point. I thought you were going to say, like, you know, something like one of the classics with Beth. You dropped Beth. I mean, okay, let's be real. If you look at like Kiss's like real, I don't want to make any enemies here, but it's maybe not the deepest.
What? It's not supposed to be. It's fun. It's rock and roll.
I mean, Detroit Rock City is pretty deep, I think. Oh my God, no time to turn. Like, it's like, oh God, it's like, I feel like I'm watching like Saul Goodman from Better Call Saul.
Yeah, all right.
Like, trying not to hit like stuff when I hear those words. And I mean, and Love Gun.
Love Gun.
Is, I think, sort of it's a modern day Shakespearean prose. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day?
It's like reading Song of Solomon.
Canterbury Tales. Wanda to apple with the shores of Sute, the Dracht of March, and then you want my love gun. And then you get that same thing idea. You know, it's talking about his penis.
I mean, would we have Steel Panther without that? Probably not.
No, we would not. And God bless Steel Panther. If you haven't seen Steel Panther or been exposed to them, you're welcome. We just mentioned to you, like, go to stop the video now, go Google them, YouTube them, and like some of their songs are unreal. When I first discovered them, I started a tribute band to them called Falcon Velvet. Pretty much, I had that for about a year and a half, 2 years. I just did it for friends for shits and giggles here, and it was so much fun. We did the makeup, the wigs, our wife's yoga pants.
Did you do spandex? Did you wear spandex?
Yeah, it was like the yoga pants.
Okay,
and like, you know, awful things, and James would be shirtless and. I mean, my best moment of that was like when James he had a few drinks after one of our shows and he was talking trash. So I'm like, like a bottle or two. Talking trash to this guy at the bar, just a little bit. It was funny. He's a soldier, and the guy just like decks him. It was hilarious because he's pretty much just decked like a girl. Because James is like dressed as a woman with no shirt on, and he looked fierce in that. It was amazing. It was a lot of fun. But, you know, that whole period, yes, Steel Panther, check them out. Kiss. You should experience them. Derek, who's behind the camera, is a big Kiss fan.
Loves Kiss.
Goes to see Kiss every time they come through.
He's like their buddy now, I feel like.
He's friends with the management team. And like, he knows the Army.
Taking backstage and stuff.
And we respect that business model. Those guys are grinding it out, and they show up, do their show, and keep the fans happy.
Keep the spice flowing.
Tracks be darned if those things are happening. Who cares?
Spice must flow.
Spice must flow. God bless. Now, I think I just finished one of the other seasons of Better Call Saul. That's why it's in my mind right now. I'm power watching through it so I can catch up. Because I have not started the final season. I know the final season, I think, ends. I might have just ended.
Okay.
I just want to sort of see how it ends.
I've watched like an episode and a half of that. I should watch the rest.
It's good. It's slow. It's like Breaking Bad, but like with at 35 miles per hour.
Right.
Whereas Breaking Bad, you're breaking the speed limit a bit.
I should rewatching Breaking Bad would probably be fun at this point.
I feel like I'm going to do that when my kids are older.
Yeah.
That's the next time. I'd like to watch that with my children as well.
You know, 5 or 6 when they're ready for it.
I mean, they got to learn about science sometime. Kids.
Daddy, why is it blue?
Because it's
Ours doesn't look like that.
It's gooder, son. It's gooder stuff.
Pure.
So
that's what a high school chemistry.
Let us know what you think.
Yeah.
You have more than I do, I think, there. I had my last science, foreign language, and math in the 10th grade of high school.
That's right, because then you went to the old art school.
Art school for
They're like, screw pragmatic things.
No, just here's some scales and conducting. I had a conducting class. How awesome is that? I can conduct in all sorts of time signatures. That really helps in life. Can't change a tire, but I can conduct.
You conduct the person changing your tire.
Yes, you have to raise your left hand a little bit.
Rhythm to work to. Yeah.
Give them that was 4/4 by the way, but very dramatic 4/4 though. You know. Like,
do you have one of those little things?
I know I didn't use a wand ever because that's silly. I could use my hand. I was like barehanded. I like that sort of like Wagnerian.
I'm a little disappointed.
No.
Okay. All right.
I'm like Gary Oldman as a conductor.
What are you gonna beat on your little thing?
I don't. I just kick.
They're being
I kick the violinist in front of me. Like violin first chair gets kicked in the face.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
Very punk rock.
Thanks for joining us. If you have thoughts on Kiss or all these bands lasting forever, let us know. I mean, Kiss is one of the few ones that I'm like 100% okay with.
It's fine.
It's nothing. Let us know your thoughts. Thanks for joining us one more time.